Good morning, everybody. I know it's a little bit early. It is a bit early. What up, Chris? Brother Ramirez, what's up? Share the live, share the live, share the live. If you're on the Map Store page, you got friends on this page, share the live, share the live. Brother Wilcox, how's Jamaica Depot these days? I want some people to get on here because I'm going to give you a little month in review. Brother Smith, Ruben, Marion Smith, Terrence Lane, Julio Zayas, good morning, brother. Doug Weiss, retiree, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Share the live. Share it with your Map Store brothers on this page. Share it up. Share it up. Ruben, what up, man? Sorry, no music for you. Sometimes I got to get that thing together. Terrence, good morning. How much time you got on the job now, Eric? Brother Wilcox? Let me get. I'm gonna start when I get about 10 people. Oh, I got 10 people. Well, let's shoot for 12. We get 12 people. I'll get started. Anyway, I got a hell of a report for you. Yo, what's up, Bajami? Retiree. Lance Davis, retiree. What's going on, brothers and sisters? So, hey, what's going on, Ruben? MTV. Good morning. All right, so we got 12. Share the live. Share it. If they on Map Store, share with your brothers on Map Store because it's a private group. You can't share outside the group. But I do have a YouTube page as well. Union Rep 100. Donald Yates Union Rep 100 with Donald Yates. That's the YouTube channel. So basically, normally when I do a live, I kind of shoot from the hip using bullet points. But I'm gonna give y'all my month in review. All right, there's been a lot going on, so I'm gonna just kind of get right into it. All right. So I'm going to give y'all a report, and then we can kind of have a discussion about that report if y'all want. All right? So this report starts on October 9th, 2019. I reported to Manhattanville Depot, which is on 133rd Street, which was the 133rd Street side, and I started talking to the operators with Brother Terrence Lane. About the importance of coming to the October 30th rally. While at the depot, I addressed a complaint of unsafe bus stops along 8th Avenue and 43rd and 46th Streets. That was brought to my attention in the last month's division meeting. Management responded to my email that this isn't the first time hearing of the complaint. It was the Assistant General Manager James Coyle who responded to me, and they sent the team up there. They explained that we are already working on making those bus stop changes with ops planning and getting the 43rd Street stop modified. And it looks like it will probably be pulled back from the corner. So just stay tuned for that. Galoo, good morning. Marilyn, good morning. Jay Will Holler, good morning. That stop has been historically problematic. I was told by the AGM that they will have someone monitor it and see if they can make the case for some sort of change if warranted. He promised to send a task manager over there to do AM and PM to monitor both locations for tour bus parking, but even tickets don't always keep them away. All right, October 10th. Manhattan Division officers went to meet with the Vice President to discuss the logistical issues of the October 30th rally, where we will meet as a division and the attendance that has to be taken. Now, that's what happened. That was what we was discussing about the rally. I want to shout out the coordinators, Kiana Davis from Tuskegee Depot, who put a lot of the logistics together. and also Anisha Portlet, who did a lot in the Bronx and the whole Bronx team. What's going on, James? October 11th, I had a meeting with the depot chairs to discuss the logistics of the rally and to go over certain protocols we need to follow in order for us to be stronger against management. Earlier that day, I was on the phone with Labor Relations of Operation Planning, and that's the ones that deal with the traffic checkers, and the Labor Relations officer was Lloyd Bailey, and I was discussing a sensitive issue regarding holding out on traffic checkers past 72 hours. I explained that I'm aware that he's pretty new in his position, but when holding out on members to investigate investigate or present a disciplinary action notice, they only have a 72-hour window to hold our members out. All right, after that, they got to go back on the clock. A hearing is done where the TA would be in their contractual rights to do a PDS, which is a pre-disciplinary suspension, if the charge is warranted. And barring any PDS challenges that the union may have, which is also contractual for us. On the issue of workers' compensation, you must be very careful of fraud, especially since we have cameras on most buses. All right? A lot of these things that I'm talking about, we went over already. October 14th, I started the day at Michael J. Quill with continued efforts to organize for the rally. The division got word on how Kronos will go into effect. There are still battles going on that will delay bus operators in service, but shifters and flaggers have to swipe using the Kronos. We had a meeting with the general manager of Manhattan to go over the footage of construction that's been making everybody sick. All right, that's over in Manhattanville Depot. So 10:30 a.m. we went over to Tuskegee to go over the Bronx redesign to look for loopholes that can attach us to part-time bus operator as defined in our collective bargaining agreement. So we're out here. We're doing this. We're being very contractually focused, and we're being very focused on what we need to do to protect our members. Now, spitting and physical assaults continue as back-to-back events occurred out of Manhattanville Depot. The officers have been diligent in getting the information over to me and keeping the assaulted member informed. While monitoring pullouts on the Michael J. Quill, I kind of do this on a daily basis. This was October 15th. Road control management, Sullivan, and Carl Rambaron were at the pullout door, checking to see if the buses were pulling out on time. And the funny thing is, as buses were pulling out, the depot, I informed them that there was a problem because they were sending in construction people, which was blocking the buses from coming out the depot, and which was causing our buses from pulling out on time. So my whole goal was to make sure that there was not going to be no violations issued because of that. All right. It's very important that we write down what causes us to pull out late on our trip sheets, even if it's because that you didn't get a bus in time, or you had to knock down a bus to get another bus. Write it on your trip sheet so we know, just in case they try to make an issue of it. All right. At 9:30 on October 15th, 9:30 a.m., Vice President Richard Davis dispatched me to Manhattanville Depot to meet with our maintenance counterparts over the problems with the heating system and the solutions over in Manhattanville. The Vice President of Facilities, his name is Madwina, was there to help address the problems. The ongoing issues are whether the heating system will be ready for the winter. In the meantime, space heaters have been put in certain strategic spots in offices where available, and temporary heat will be provided in different parts of the depot. With this meeting, we also had a heater removed from the walkway towards the elevator due to dangers that can be harmful to our members. Hold on, let me read before I go on. I want to read something that Eric Hernandez says. This funny guy, because when I needed his help getting my job back at May, he never returned my messages. I left his, which clearly my number. Okay. You're entitled to your opinions, Brother Hernandez. October 16th, started my day at Michael J. Quill, where I ran into one of our MapStoa collection agents. I took a complaint on how our utility guides are being used and gave some flyers to be handed out in our Central Revenue Facility in Maspeth. All right, October 17th, the MapStoa incumbent pick started, but it didn't start without issue, which was some vacation and fax machine issues. All problems were resolved. MTA Chairman Patrick Foy sent out an inflammatory email to President Utano that was leaked to the press, calling our president a fraud in an attempt to weaken the union and dirty the reputations of the Local 100 president. These attacks were made public on the Local 100 website for all to see. October 18th, started my day in traffic checking operations to hand out contract rally flyers and handbooks. While there, I called Director James Cutullo to find out about the PIC and the implementation of Kronos and the FMLA. Cutullo has stated that at least 80 checkers report directly to the field and don't punch time clocks. The department has suggested checkers in the field swipe at the various reporting locations. My response was that based on the contract arbitrator's decision, they have to negotiate with us for that. So it's just not something that you're going to implement. All right. October 19th, one of our members who operates on the M3 route made a complaint about vendors blocking bus stops at 181st and St. Nicholas Avenue. The bus operator informed me that they called the command center. I asked if they wrote the time that they called the command center on their trip sheet, which they did. And then I called the AGM of road control and also sent an email out. So they ended up sending road control to do a report and see what was going on in that particular area. On October 21st, I started my day at Tuskegee Depot, where I went to stop the PIC over management's violation of our practice. After some phone calls, the issue was resolved. Early in the afternoon, the Vice President, Richard Davis, and myself, and the Bronx staff rep, Timothy Harrell, went to visit the Bronx Borough President's office, Ruben Diaz, to discuss our concerns with the Bronx redesign. Now, the borough president was very forthcoming and did admit he was a fan of the redesign and Andy Byford. October 22nd, myself and my team went to Flatbush Depot in solidarity of the rally to fight against service cuts on the B46. As with other neighborhoods, the MTA uses economic racism to cut services to the neighborhoods that need it the most. October 23rd, we started the day reporting to 126th Street and 2nd Avenue, where the SBS 15 is, to organize our members for the upcoming rally. Then my team traveled down to 2 Broadway to hand out literature while the vice presidents were up at the MTA board meeting, giving the board and the viewers of the board a dose of truth. October 25th, started and ended my day organizing for the rally at 126th Street on the SBS 15. October 28th, had a meeting with Traffic Checking Operations Director James Cutullo about the upcoming traffic checker PIC. During the comparative study of last year's versus this year's PIC, there has been a 30-job loss and some shuffling of work responsibilities due in part of the changing technology. where the subways have been installing electronic signages. I'm pretty sure everybody have seen these little electronic signages that tell you the upcoming work and stuff. That's what's going on in the subways, and that's how traffic checkers work. In addition, the department has been adding more of its resources to fare evasion. So they're focusing on fare evasion. Our traffic checkers also do fare evasions where they stand and observe people who are evading the fare. October 30th was our rally. TW Local 100 held their rally against the MTA, New York City Transit, at 2 Broadway, where we all expressed our anger at the MTA bosses. What was significant and a show that we come together was the way the Mapstore Division marched into the rally in unison. That was a beautiful thing, guys. Beautiful thing. Many critics argued that rallying at 5 p.m. to an empty building would be nothing. Well, I've been saying all along that it's about the media attention. When Mapstore across the street to march into the rally, cameras were all over us. There was at least 4 cameras that was pointed at us from different media outlets. Please definitely give yourselves a round of applause. You all showed the world and each other that together we make a difference. October 31st, there was an executive board meeting that I had to attend. On November 4th, I went over to Tuskegee Depot to protest the continuous elevator problems, which was very significant. While the main elevator was temporarily fixed, the elevator broke down again while the staircase had been blocked off. We threatened the bosses with calling the fire department, then the issues were resolved. Wednesday, November 6th, went to Mother Clara Hale to keep the members fired up. Thursday, November 7th, made my morning visit to Manhattanville Depot, where I discovered the fuel pumps were down the night before. What was significant was while at the pullouts, I saw a division shifting and 3 bus operators from other depots to help fuel the buses. The irony in this particular situation is that I just got a call 30 minutes ago from the Tuskegee chair who was telling me they was trying to get operators to do the overtime in there. Now, just an explanation, like, I don't know if you've been here long enough to know when a fuel pump goes down in your depot, they usually send you to another depot to get fuel, and it will be some overtime or cut slips that you will be receiving as a result. But what the new transit authority tried to do is they try to get people from all depots to help out to alleviate blowing up one depot's budget. And let me just tell you, since the early 2000s, the Department of Buses has tried to get a regionalized bus system. They haven't been successful. However, when incidents occur, such as a fuel pump going down, like in Manhattanville, management does not have the unequivocal right to send operators from other depots because there are impediments such as our collective bargaining agreement and practices that we've been doing for a very long time. You know, just for you, the members, if your approach to do work out of the ordinary, just ask your chairman if it's correct. If the chairman doesn't know, they'll check with me. Failure to follow these steps can change our practice from a depot-based work to a division-based work, which would impact all your depot over time. Now, I'm going to focus on that a little bit because I did file a grievance, and the grievance is pending, but ever since then, the pump down in Manhattanville went down again, and I got a call from the general manager on how we would address it this time. So now everybody in Manhattanville has to do their own work, which will give you your overtime that has been for years of practice in everybody's depot and transportation, and you'll fund your pension in that way until we negotiate something different. Okay. Later that day, our local held their annual Veterans Day dinner at the Union Hall. For those of you who attended, that was all well and good. For those of you who couldn't attend it, we understand why you couldn't attend. And for those of you who are veterans, thank you for your service. All right. October 31st, we did the crossover pick, which was conducted. And November 1st, the consolidated portion of the pick began. However, as usual with our picks, it didn't begin without an incident, but that too was resolved without a stoppage. TW President Tony Utano has issued a call for round-the-clock bargaining with the MTA, but haven't heard anything official as of to that date. We were summoned down to the Union Hall on Tuesday, which is why I wasn't there to do my division meeting. We was supposed to be getting involved with some type of negotiation that ended up not happening. Upcoming, I just don't want anyone to forget. Upcoming on December 11th, 2019, we must support our brother from Manhattanville Depot, Michael Haynes, who had a gun waved at him by Tony Burnett. That's going to be held at the Manhattan Criminal Court, 100 Center Street, Part 42, which is Judge Wiley. Now, this week, Wednesday, we had a 19A in Michael J. Quill Depot. And everybody was like, well, why are we inspecting a depot that has new equipment? And my answer has been because the way the depot is structured, all you have to do is find one problem, and it'll pretty much make everything late coming out the depot. Now, our goal in an inspection is to make sure that we give safe buses to our customers and safe buses for our operators to operate. That's the whole point of the inspection. Now, there have been some issues going on. Like, we've had general managers and other managers getting involved in things that are supposed to be union business. All right? And we can't really tolerate that, and we have to do what's at our disposal to bring awareness and also to push about our narrative on what we have to do to fight the MTA, to fight transit. Now, everybody talks about the union fighting. Part of our fight is safety inspections, because we know that the safety inspections are not regularly done, not like they're supposed to be. Because if you truly did your safety inspection every day, your buses would be late pulling out the depot every single day, period. So it does have an impact, and when we join together in unison, it's amazing what we can accomplish together. The only down part about the 19A that we did in Michael J. Quill was and I'm gonna give you the scenario. It was a scenario. We walked in there around 4:30 in the morning, and I went to the yard shack in Michael J. Quill, and I saw like about 15 to 20 operators. They were standing waiting for buses, 15 to 20, right? And I pulled out my camera, and I said, and I just said, like, by a show of hands, how many of you guys get written up for pulling out late? And I say about half of them raised their hand. So then I walked out the yard shack, and then an operator who has time on the job, his name is Leopold Cox. He was handing out his lawyer cards, and he says to the operators in there that I was illegally videotaping and that I shouldn't be doing that. And this is one of our members. So I came back to him. I handed back, he gave me his lawyer card. I came back to him. I handed back to his lawyer card. I handed back his lawyer card. I said, I would never want you to represent me in no type of way as a lawyer, because you can't even stick with your brothers in a 19A inspection. Now, he said this, and had he said it just to the members, then I would be like, okay, no problem. But that's his opinion. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But because it was a member of supervision there when he was saying it, I found that very problematic, and I found that to be an act of a scab. And I will continue to call that member a scab. As far as I'm concerned, he might as well just opt out this union. because he been shown himself to be who he is, and that's a scab. You don't never. And let me go a little bit even further. Let me go further. I've had operators complaining about pulling out late and getting written up for pulling out late. So when I started standing out there, and then when they were sending road control out there to see if people were pulling out late, I don't just stand there as a statue. I'll be like, listen, I hope you're not here to write people out for pulling out late, because as you see what's going on in the depot, and I got it right here on my phone, as you see what's going on in the depot, is these people are pulling out late because you got the traffic there's building up right here on 40th Street, pulling out the side of the depot. Then you got all the vendors coming in. So everything that could contribute to a problem is right here for you to see. So I don't expect that you'll give my operators a problem. All right? So they're like, no, we're not here to give your operators a problem. No, we're just, okay, all right, fine. So then when I go into the yard shack where it was a complaint that people were being written up for pulling out late, I go to a yard shack and I see 20 people standing there with because a dispatcher is unable to issue out the buses. Is problematic to me, and then he gets written up because he's covering his own ass. You're writing up my people, covering up their own ass. Now, in all fairness, the general superintendent, in most cases, has been throwing out these violations. But why does there have to be a violation to justify why the operator is pulling out late? That's some bullshit to me. So I clearly pointed out my camera and said, this is what the reality of the problem is. And for an operator to say that I am illegally taking a video on transit property, saying it in front of supervision, would you rather me illegally take a video of what's going on, or would you rather management illegally write you a violation for something you're not doing? You just tell me, and I'll do what you guys want me to do. But as far as I'm concerned, that's scabbing every day of the week. Leopold Cox from Michael J. Quill is a scab. I will never have respect for that brother for that. Never. And by the way, we was very successful in Michael J. Quill. We had management backing up off of us. And that's what we are supposed to do to give respect. We got to get our respect. But a lot of people think we ain't got respect. Let me tell you something. We got some respect. Don't let the narrative fool you. Don't let the narrative fool you, because we are fighting in the Department of Buses. We are fighting. All right? So we got some respect in the Department of Buses. The stuff that's going on every day. As soon as I show up to the depot, I'm just there just sometimes just to view things. They calling up management. Yo, Donald Yates is here. Donald Yates is here. I was doing this almost every day in Michael J. Quill. Yo, Donald Yates is downstairs. But they didn't expect no 19A to go on. So I'm looking at this general superintendent, because general superintendent is right above where I stand. I'll be like, in my vest, I'm like, oh, you're not going to come downstairs? You're not going to come downstairs? I said, you better come downstairs. Every day. I've done this while organizing the whole time for the rally, right? So then when we was planning to do a 19A, I told sorry about that, guys, but I told everybody that at that particular moment, not that particular moment, but I told Michael J. Quill would be a good hit, because management is sleeping. Management is sleeping. So we did a hit. But we didn't just do a hit in Michael J. Quill. I know the brothers and sisters from Michael J. Quill appreciate the fight that went on, but there was other fights going on. There was also a hit in Brooklyn. The hit in Brooklyn was at Omer Park. There also was a hit in the Bronx. The hit in the Bronx was at Eastchester Depot. So there was hits going on all over, just to send a small little snippet of a message that we ready to fight. We want the members to be fighting. I would rather my members do the 19A themselves on a daily basis while I watch, because you know what you're supposed to do. And that's really the end of my report. I can't even begin to tell you how angry if I was in the street, I'm just keeping it real. If I was in the street, I probably would have. I ain't gonna say it. I'm just gonna continue to say, Leopold Cox is a scab, and you know why he's a scab, because he wanted to stop something because he maybe don't like the direction the union is going in, but because he didn't like the direction of the union, he want to expose it as a scab move. A scab is lower than a roach to me, man. He got to be stepped on and dealt with. That's what a scab is. That I close. I'll talk to you later. Be safe, guys.